Hi, this is Dan Letha for Reasons for Hope, and welcome to this week's edition of Draw It and Know It. This is an art lesson edition, and today we are going to draw step by step how to draw a bat. I love bats, and hopefully by the end of this drawing lesson, you will too. So let's get going. All right, we're going to start out with our pencil again. We're going to start sketching guidelines that'll help us ink our drawing in a little bit. And so we're going to start out with a circle. And this circle is the body of the bat. Now, we're going to draw another circle, oval circle, inside that circle, and that's the head of the bat. Now, this particular bat has really big ears, and so we're going to draw two lines that'll help us with the inside area of the ears, and now the outside line goes out and then back up, and it connects with that first ear line, and this line goes out and then up, and it connects there, and so those are the ears, the ear shape. And then we're going to draw another oval inside the head shape. All right, and so that we've got that figured out. Now we're going to draw little guidelines for the arms of the bat. And so those go from about the shoulder to the elbows, and then up from the elbow to the wrist area of the bat. And then we're going to draw one finger there. We're going to draw the other finger on the other side. Now, how many fingers does a bat have? How many fingers do you have? Most people have 4 fingers, and bats do too. We're only going to draw 3 today, so there's another finger there, and there's another finger there. So we're going to draw the 3 main ones that we always see on bats. And there's another finger there. It kind of bends in the middle, and another finger there. Do bats have thumbs? Yes, they do, and we're gonna see that in a little bit. Okay, so the tail lines. We're going to draw the tail. We're going to draw a little anchor point there and then down. And then at the bottom of the tail, we have, and this is the webby part, we're going to draw a line down and then come back up and meet the other side. So that's the shape of the bat tail. A very useful tool for the bat too. Now we're going to draw where the webbing kind of connects between the fingers. All right, so just kind of follow as I do there, and then you curve around and connect. Now that last piece, it connects in a little different way. So we're going to draw the anchor points to where the tail is, and then draw up and curve it around. Then we're going to curve around and then draw down and connect it to that anchor point. All right, and so now here's the legs. And so for the legs, we're just going to draw in little circles for where the feet are, and we're just going to leave it like there. And then we have some little dots to indicate about where the eyes go, and we're going to ink that in later. And now here's a circle for the nose, and then a couple little circles for where the nostrils. That kind of looks like a pig, doesn't it? This is not a pig bat. You're going to see what that looks like in a little bit. But there's the muzzle area, and then the mouth. And then we're going to draw these 2 little structures that help keep the, we're going to ink those in actually in a little bit, but there's a thicker column kind of thing inside the ears that help it to stand up. So now we've switched over to the pen, and I'm inking in the inside line to those ears where we started drawing them. And then we're going to draw down and then around for the shape of the ear. Stop before it gets to the face, about where it gets to the face. And then down and back around, again, stopping where the face starts. And then those column areas, they're kind of thicker at the bottom, and then when we go up to the top of the ear, they get thinner and thinner and thinner, and then same for the other side. So thicker at the bottom and then thinner up on top. All right, this bat has ears that are almost as long as its body. Now we're going to draw the fuzzy face, because this bat is very, very fuzzy. We're going to draw those little eyes in, these little beady eyes. They're kind of cute on this bat, actually. Bats have so many different shapes of eyes and ears and noses, all kinds of different varieties of bats. In fact, the world has about 1,400 different varieties of bat. We're going to ink in the nose and the nostril areas more like that, so it's not so pig-like anymore. We'll draw the top of the muzzle area, all right. Get that little line in there, and then the mouth. Ink that in. And of those 1,400 varieties in the United States, there's only United States and Canada, there's only about 50 bat kinds, and so not so many here. We're going to give it little eyebrows just for some personality. And then the body again is this little fuzzy fuzzball. So draw in some hair, do a little squiggly line, drawing in that bat hair, little fuzzy, like a little fuzzy ping pong ball or something. All right, and then we're going to draw in the arms. We're going to draw a line on each side of that pencil line to give us about the right thickness and right direction for those lines for the arms up to the elbow. Again, shoulder to elbow right there. And then we're going to make the bend in the elbow, and we're going to go up so this is the forearm area of the bat, and it's going to go up to the wrist. Same on the other side, although the other side's not bent as much. Up, and then now I mentioned before the bat has thumbs, and those are very, very tiny compared to the rest of the fingers on the hand of the bat, if you want to call it that. In fact, the scientific name of bats means hand wing, and so that's exactly what they have. Those little webby parts above the arms from the shoulder to the forearm, so we've got to draw those in too. And then we're going to draw in the webby part and the fingers. We're going to add a little thickness to those fingers because they are important. It's not just a bend in the material for the web, it's actually a finger, so we want to indicate that. All right. And these wings are miraculously engineered and designed by our loving and almighty and all-wise creator God, who gave the bats the ability, because of the way they're made, to fly in ways that birds could never ever even dream about. Sometimes if you see a bat flying around and it looks like it's going all over the place, like it doesn't know where it's going, it knows exactly where it's going because it's using echolocation. It chirps out sounds, and those sounds bounce back, and it can know exactly what's in front of it, even if there's no light at all. That bat can see in the dark perfectly well because of the echolocation. And so it's finding bugs, and it's avoiding walls and trees and all kinds of things that it doesn't want to fly into. But there's bugs all over the place, and so that weird path that bat is making as it flies through the night sky, that it looks like it doesn't know where it's going. It's going from bug to bug to bug to bug to bug, and it's eating all those bugs, and you're a happy camper because of that, because those are bugs that aren't biting you, that's feeding the bat. All right, so the legs here, there are little claws at the bottom. Now the legs of the bat are designed so that the bat can hang upside down. That's what those legs are designed for. It doesn't really walk very well, but it does hang very well, and it needs to do that very well because it spends a lot of time hanging upside down. Now there's a little piece of tail, little strip of tail there down the middle of that webby part, so we draw that in there too. More detail for the insides of the ears, and those miraculous ears that can hear high-pitched sounds that humans can't hear. And those are kind of the eyes of the bat at nighttime, as it were. So I'm going to turn off my pencil sketch layer, and I'm going to start coloring this in. And I'm going to tell you some more about bats, God's design of bats, and then this particular bat here. Here's a trivia question for you. What's a baby bat called? Do you have any idea? It's called a pup. So that's kind of a fun little trivia fact. Little young bats are called pups. The largest bats that there are in the world have a wingspan of about 6 feet long. Those are huge. And then the smallest bats, which are actually the smallest mammals in the world, there's a bat called the bumblebee bat. It has the wingspan of about 6 inches long. And those bats spend a lot of time hanging upside down, especially in the wintertime. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them hibernate in the wintertime. And so they hang upside down for a long, long time. And this particular bat right here is the gray long-eared bat. It's not a bat from the United States. It's found over in Europe and England, and it's actually an endangered species. It has, as far as they can tell, there's only about 1,000 of these particular bats left. So that's very, very sad, and hopefully it can bounce back. But it again has ears that are almost as long as its body. So I like this particular bat, and I thought it'd make a good drawing for today. There's other bats that have large ears like this too, but this is the gray long-eared bat. Now, bats, are they evil? Are they bad? Well, let's consider this. Who made bats? God made bats. What day did God make bats on? Well, it doesn't indicate specifically bats in the Bible, but because bats are flying creatures, we know that they were created on day 5 of creation, along with the swimming creatures. So swimming and flying creatures on day 5. Day 6 were land animals. You know, if you read in books about bats, they might say something about that there's fossils of bats, and there are, and they're totally cool. And that you'll find an age on some of them, 52 to 54 million years old. Is that right? Well, according to the Bible, no, because the world's not that old and the universe isn't that old. But that's with the idea of evolution, like bats are evolving. And so, well, let's ask the question then, did they evolve from that fossil to now? Well, scientists will say that the bats apparently didn't evolve anymore after that because the fossil is a bat. It's a fully formed bat. There's no bat on the way to being a bat or a half bat on the way to being a bat. It's all bat. And that really testifies against evolution, that the bats in the fossil record, there's no evolution. There's no half bats. And anyway, the Bible says that the flying creatures came before the land animals. According to evolution, it would have to be a land animal that turned into a bat, which is a flying creature. So they got that backwards. So again, the idea that evolution and the Bible go together that's not a good idea. They're not compatible. Now, are bats in the Bible? Actually, yes. There's 3 times that the Bible mentions bats. In Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Isaiah. And so you can look in those books. I'll let you find the particular verses, but there are bats that are mentioned in the Bible. Now, are bats evil? We often think about them as scary and evil creatures. Well, no. They're certainly under the curse because of sin from Adam and Eve. And there's a such thing as a vampire bat, and they drink blood. But most bats are very useful. In fact, they eat a lot of insects. They kill a lot of bugs. There's some bats that can eat between 600 and 1,000 mosquitoes in 1 hour. So again, they're zigzagging all over the sky, looking kind of crazy, but they're eating like crazy too. And so we don't have to be scratching like crazy because those mosquitoes aren't there to bite us anymore because the bat did us a favor and getting rid of those bothersome insects. I'd much rather have a sky full of bats than a sky full of mosquitoes. And so I love when bats are around. They're very, very good. And some bats eat insects, some eat pollen, and some of them are very useful for pollinating plants, and they're useful in their part of the world for doing that sort of thing. Some bats eat fruit and then they spread seeds around, and so a lot of plants are dependent upon the bats spreading their seeds around. And then there's other bats that eat mammals. Some bats are specialized to go fishing and eat fish, which is pretty wild. Some eat frogs, and then again, some drink blood, but not that many at all. And so bats, we associate them with being scary and evil, and why would God create ugly bats? Well, not all of them are ugly. There are some that look pretty strange, that's true, but many of them are cute and they're very useful. We don't usually see them because they're flying around at nighttime doing their thing, but they're just a marvelous testimony of God's engineering and design and creativity as he has made these marvelous creatures that fly around at nighttime and make the world for all of us a little better. And so thank you, God, for making a miraculous and marvelous creature like the bat. Now, when I was a little boy, I used to be just fascinated with bats, and I kind of still am. I love bats a lot. And so I hope that this fun drawing of bats and some of these details about the bat is something that'll make you stop and think next time you see a bat, they're not so bad. Thank God that he designed bats. Well, thank you for joining me on this edition of Draw It and Know It. I'm Dan Letha for Reasons for Hope, and I'll catch you next time.